and part 2. And the second worksheet is similar, however, there will have to be a lot of factoring go on. There's going to have to be a lot of factoring going on. So how about we take a look at problem number 3 on our second sheet about the sheep. So I've got a minus 30. Now, I'm going to do something here. I'm not going to write the original problem. I'm going to go somewhere else. I'm going to go somewhere else, and I'm going to factor a squared plus 4a minus 21. I'm going somewhere else, and I'm factoring that denominator. So I'm going somewhere else, like way over here. You could go way over there. And we are on multiply to be negative 21. We are on add to be 4. And I believe that turns out to be 7 and negative 3. That multiplies to negative 21. That adds to positive 4. We all remember when there is a coefficient, a number of 1 out here, we can jump to the answer of just a plus 7, a minus 3. And we can make this a plus 7, a minus 3. All right, hint, better leave some room, All right, the next part is 5 over a plus, oh good, we're in good shape now. 5 over a plus 7. Leave some room, minus 2 over a minus 3. Those that think they're doing well, I'd like you to pay attention anyways. Those that think they're doing well, because there's just a little tricky thing that has happened, it's going to happen again. So I think we can clearly look and see the common denominator is a plus 7, a plus 3, which here is going to be awesome because you're going to see in just a minute it's going to cancel everything out. A plus 7, a minus 3, and a plus 7, a minus 3. Nick, can you either see that or you know that that's an a minus 3? Can you actually see it or not? Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. We have changed the value, but since all the values got changed, we in fact are golden. All right. This is awesome. They all cross out, and we just got an a minus 30. That certainly is not stressful. This crosses out, and we have distributive property, 5 times a, and 5 times negative 3. Please, 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 please. You don't know how many kids do this, and this is wrong. They write minus 2a plus 14. Don't be that kid. It is negative 2 times a. It is negative 2 times positive. It is negative 14. That negative distributes to all of them. Please do that. Please do that. Please do that. Otherwise, you're going to get it wrong. And that'll be saddened. And I don't think now any of you are stressed out at this point in time. I think you all look there and go, huh, got it, no fractions. We'll finish that one pleasantly. And then one more, and then one more. I'll take attendance. And then you'll have a lot of time to work on a lot of problems, and you'll have all sorts of time to ask me questions. So that's great news. And I think the one I wanted to go to was number 8. I'm about to rate. Says somebody yell wait. All right. And number 8. 1 over d minus 7. Hi. 1 over d minus 7. Plus, I hope I've left enough room here. Plus d over d minus 2. One of those was yesterday's, it's just in form. I'm leaving some room equals 5 over. Now, I'm gonna go somewhere else and I'm gonna factor d squared, bless you, d squared minus 9d plus 14. I'm gonna go somewhere, I'm factoring this, I'm gonna go somewhere else to do that. I want this to multiply to be 14. I want to add to be negative 9. So 1 and 14 doesn't do it. 2 and 7 multiplies to be 14, doesn't add to negative 9. Negative 2 and negative 7. Negative 2 and negative 7. When there's a 1 out front, we can jump to the answer, and we get d minus 2, d minus 7. Slightly shake your head if you get the process that we're doing. All right. How many did not get the process yesterday with my absence? How many did not get it? How many did get it ahead of time? Okay. Cool. Most all of us get it now, we hope, whether you did or didn't. All right. So our common denominator is d minus 7, d minus 2. It is d minus 7, d minus 2. And this looks like it'll be the fun one, d minus 7 and d minus 2. The fun one is the one with like a whole bunch crosses up. That's the fun one. All right, the d minus 7s go. And we've got 1d minus 2. That's looking not stressful. The d minus 2's cross out, and now if I could have your attention, even if you think you know what's going on. For the first time, when I'm doing distributive property, I got d times d, I have d squared, which is going to add some complication to the end. And it is d times d, and then d times minus 7, so it's minus 7d, and I have to double check to make sure I didn't just mess myself up. D times d, d times, cool. And this is the fun one. All right. Not impossible, but it becomes quite a bit more work. I'm putting the d squared first. I'm going to combine these two terms here to make this minus 6d, and this one temporarily sits alone. Minus 2 equals 5. Please remember, anytime we have a second degree, a quadratic, anytime we have a second degree, we want it to say equal 0. We talked about the zero product property. So we take away 5 on both sides, and we're left with d squared minus 6d minus 7 equals 0. And guess what? We're going to do the big T stuff here. Multiplies to be negative 7, adds to be negative 6. I'm going to do it quick. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I want it to multiply to be negative 7, add to be negative 6. That is negative 7 and positive 1. When the leading coefficient is 1, you can just jump to the answer of d minus 7 and d plus 1 equals 0. A real teacher would say do the zero product property. We do the big T, and it looks like a big T, and d equals 7 and d equals negative 1. Let me do the whole thing. D minus 7 equals 0 and d plus 1 equals 0. You're going to get done with that problem. You're going to get done with that problem, and you're going to be looking on the answer key for 7 and negative 1. And I'm looking right now for 7 and negative 1. I'm looking for 7 and negative 1. I don't see 7 and negative 1. Apparently somebody should have stopped me in the middle when I made a mistake. Did anyone see my mistake? I don't think I made a mistake. One of the first things, I know it's been disjointed with my absence, one of our very first worksheets, it said, state the undefined solutions. Do you remember that? We had, these people can't see it, we had like 18 over x minus 5. And it said state the undefined solutions, and we set the denominator equal to 0. Okay, that was the first thing we did. A few people remember now, we set the denominator to 0. Please look way back here. Way back here. What are the excluded values? D cannot equal 7. D cannot equal 2. I say D equals 7. You say it cannot. That becomes an extraneous answer. It worked, everything went fine, but if you put 7 in the original problem, 7 minus 7, it doesn't work. I bet you could look on your answer sheet and find an answer of -1. I think I remember what this funny puzzle is. I like this one. Okay, this one is worth doing the worksheet just for the funny puzzle. So I'm going to stop here.